Good evening, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Texas Biker Radio number 389. My name is Mel Popeye Moss. My co-host, Mel OG Robbins. We are with Sons of Liberty Riders MC, who are defenders of the Constitution and those who've had their constitutional rights violated. And as everybody can tell, my voice is still weak, but we will move on. Good evening, Mel. How are you doing?
I'm moving on with you.
There you go. Hey, real quick update on the coronavirus that the media and everybody else is the media is driving the panic, if there is a panic, and I can't tell it when I'm out and about. But I think we had 2 more deaths in Washington State that are related to that retirement center. And so, again, elderly people. This is where we're going. We still have a lot of low numbers in this country compared to other countries. And Italy right now seems to be just out of whack. Just totally out of whack. They're canceling events. They're canceling classes. They're doing everything they can to keep people away from each other. And in that society over there, Mel, going out to eat and stuff at night is just a thing they do. They have a lot of sidewalk cafes, all that kind of stuff, and they're big about eating out. And let me tell you, right now, Milan, whatever it's called, that's not Milan County. Milan, Italy is shut down. I'm telling you, man, there's nobody on the streets. You got to comment on any of this stuff?
Well, people are scared to death. In fact, I saw something in the news about some hotel over in China where they had quarantined a lot of people has collapsed.
Oh,
so they
yes.
must have just kept shoving people in there till the damn building came down. So
that doesn't speak too well of their building codes, does it?
Right.
And
but it's I'll tell you, the most devastating part here is it's not so much everyone that's getting it so far. Mm-hmm. It's you've got there are shortages that are going to occur because now you've got panic buying, and for whatever damn reason, people go out and the very first thing they do is target toilet paper.
Oh yeah.
Now, as far as I know, what you get is a runny nose.
Right.
But at any rate, it's going to create shipping problems. Mm-hmm. A tremendous amount of product that we use here in the United States comes from China.
Yes.
I even saw in the news where the lobster market's about to fall through because they went from there's a Canadian charter outfit that flies. It was like over 1,000 cases of lobsters a day over into China, and it dropped down to like a couple hundred.
Yeah.
And, so you're seeing that kind of an effect, and that's what's rolling into the stock market, which is going to start affecting other things. You've got industries that are going to have to start shutting down here pretty soon. I'm not talking about manufacturing industries. I'm talking about the shipping industry,
yeah.
Industries that distribute, things like that, to where if there's nothing coming in or going out, they're going to have to lay people off. So this has a lot of effect way beyond some people getting the virus.
There you go. Hey, Mel, probably the one silver lining in this thing is it exposes the vulnerability that's a tough one with the what I got going on now. It exposes and our supply line. 97% of our pharmaceuticals are made in China.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So all of a sudden
Think
they're
about
saying,
that when you choke a pill down tonight as to what in the hell might be in that pill.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. But you know what? They're talking now about, hey, look, we got to have some plants over here. We can't depend on China for these important items, health items. And, I mean, hell, all they got to do is they want to have a war with us, just poison us all.
This is kind of reminiscent of OPEC, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where we were totally dependent on the Arabs for oil. So we finally got our act together, and now we're not so dependent anymore, and they're not so all high and mighty dictating prices.
Yeah.
So the same thing's got to happen with a lot of manufacturing.
And Mel and I, OG and I, remember when they were saying we're going to, in the 70s and 80s, we're going to run out of oil. We'll be out of oil in 50 years. And Mel, I guess that was about 50 years ago, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, what was classic was it was right after we withdrew from Vietnam. All of a sudden, there was gasoline rationing.
Yeah.
You wonder what the hell, We're not burning up all that fuel anymore over there.
That's right.
So, what the hell caused the rationing? And you could only fuel up your vehicle certain days of the week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just weird as hell. In fact, that reminds me of remember the hurricane we had here a couple of years ago when it shut down a couple of refineries?
Mm-hmm.
People were just going crazy around here, draining gas stations.
Yeah.
Couldn't find gas anywhere.
Mel, we had odd and even days to get gas. So during how your license plate ended.
Yeah. I mean, from what I can see, we're our own worst enemy.
And that was on Jimmy Carter's watch. We're running out of oil. It's going to be gone. Look where we're at today. We're exporting oil. It's incredible. It also shows what a bunch of damn liars they are.
Yep.
But, and that was even before
a lot of
fracking.
it's just manufactured.
Yeah. But all these manufacturing companies that outsource their stuff to China and other places, Mexico, wherever, when you do that, Mel, your supply line to whatever you're manufacturing is vulnerable. And we told them this back during NAFTA. We told them all this mess would happen. And now it's even happening after NAFTA. So we've got to get our house in order. We've got to get it in order. And we need to bring manufacturing back to this country. It is a must. It is imperative. Whether it's pharmaceuticals, whether it's aircraft, automobile parts, whatever. We can't.
Well, if the pharmaceuticals are being made in China, they ought to be cheap.
Yeah, you'd think. That's not the case, is it? And even Apple, now, those companies that are over there are talking about moving facilities back here. They've been taught a lesson. And not even to mention what's going on with the cruise lines. Hey, are you back in the market yet?
Am I what?
Are you back? For our audience, I just want to know if you're back in the market yet. Are you wheeling and dealing stocks?
No.
Okay.
Staying out, preserving capital. It is too. It's too reactive. If you try and now I play with futures, so that means I've got stops and gains. And you've got to have a hell of a lot of money in your brokerage account to be able to set up a huge stop. With a stop is a liability. A stop means you lost.
Yeah.
And you've got to have a pretty damn big account to set up a big enough stop to react to what's happening in the market, because I have witnessed movement in the market that within seconds it's moved 10, 15 points.
Yeah.
10, 15 points in the mini market is $500 to $750.
Yeah.
It's a whiplash effect, because
Mm-hmm.
it'll move in the opposite direction before it goes in the direction you want it to, and it'll kill you every time.
Yeah. Well, just to get away from this, the last thing on it right now, I'm telling you, there's beginning to be, when you look at the stocks individually, there's beginning to be some hell of some buys. Oh, it's tempting for me, to jump back in, but I won't.
Well, I'll tell you, for those that like to play in the stock market,
Mm-hmm.
this is an excellent time to buy. Now, that might sound ludicrous, but you've got hundreds and thousands of people out there that are panicking and selling
Mm-hmm.
off their stocks because
Yeah.
they're trying to preserve their retirement funds.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look back historically, the stock market has always eventually gone back up. So if you've got money to play with, now is a good time to buy, because I will guarantee you the market is going to go back up.
Okay.
You just got to be able to hang in there.
That's
but
right.
now, you can buy shit at a discount.
That's right. That's right.
And that's the best way to get it, at a discount.
Okay, Mel, we spent 12 minutes or 13 minutes now on the coronavirus and the stock market. Let's talk some biker shit. You ready?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. And the one thing I want to talk about, being we're a political group, and, and there's opportunity out there right now. We witnessed the other day where Chuck Schumer, Chucky Schumer, threatened two Supreme Court justices on the steps of the Supreme Court. Now, Mel, if you or I did that, what would happen?
Oh, hell. We'd be locked up already
Mm-hmm.
for making terroristic threats.
Exactly. But this just goes to show you, and this is what we're going to be talking about, is laws for them and laws for us. Now, every time they do something stupid like that, and there's been many, many, many cases where liberal politicians and the liberals in general have just made these outrageous statements that we couldn't get away with. So this tells us laws for them, laws for us. There's a two-tiered system out there that exists, whether you're talking about Washington, D.C., or whether you're talking about our local courts and state courts. There are people that literally, Mel, sometimes I think, and it probably is in some cases, they get away with murder. And
Well, there's a lot of speculation about that with one female politician.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I mean, this is opportunity for us. We have to point this stuff out to the public. We have to share this information. And whenever we see an injustice that goes on in our community, we got to get it out there. We can't be sit by and be passive and say, "Oh well, oh well."
Somebody's got to do something.
That's right. We've got to demand. We've got to demand that this kind of stuff ends. So this is going to be part of our strategy going forward and marching toward, whether you want to say that in Texas, our next legislative session, or whether we're talking about politics in general. Because we can't allow this to continue. We've got to motivate people to do something, to say something, to participate. And so, think about it, everybody. Think about the injustices that we see going on across this country, whether it's against bikers, whether it's against whoever. When we see something that's really wrong, just dirty wrong, we got to say something about it. We've got to literally force them to take some action, rather than letting them apologize and make excuses.
They don't even apologize anymore.
No, they don't. And, Mel, and let's throw the FBI into the equation and the crap they've been doing. Now, because of, boy, that dog is fierce, isn't he? Now, because of what we've been involved in for the past 5 years or more, we've seen time after time after time where they do illegal stuff, they don't tell the truth, and they're never held accountable. And this is whether you're talking about stuff that goes on in D.C. or whether stuff you see that goes on in Milam County. And then in particular, we some of these bulletins that they put out, where what they're saying is just not true. And I can point to some particular ones, like 800 Mongols coming to Fort Worth. Like Killeen and other places where we've seen these bulletins where there's not a bit of truth in them. And so, trying to scare the public with lies and innuendos. When this kind of stuff happens, we've got to point it out. We've got to spread the word. And we'd like to see everybody across the nation join us in this effort going forward. And so, Mel, you got comments on that? I must have put him to sleep. Oh, you know what?
Were you talking to me?
You know what he's doing? He's messing with that damn dog.
We're about to kill a dog. Anyway, no, you're entirely right. People get frustrated. They don't know what to do or how to do it, and admittedly, it is extremely difficult to do anything about all of the all of the crap that's going on today and the injustices that are happening. And the only thing you can do is you just start raising hell.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you can do. Start raising hell, call for action, make telephone calls, do whatever you can to make noise.
Yes.
And that'll eventually help.
Yeah.
That will eventually cause some things to start happening.
Yeah. And it's been my experience, if you stand up, if you say something, you will make something happen. It may not be the direction you want to go, but by God, you're going to make something happen. Just like the thing we're talking about with the gang database. Check and see if you're in it. Take some action. If you're in it, you don't belong there, say something. If you're in it and you're off paper, you've been off paper for 5 years, say something. If you're in it and you don't believe you should be in there, say something. If you've never been told you're in it and you find out you are, say something. Because where's the due process? They're labeling you as the potential criminal. Don't let them get away with it. Don't let them get away with it. We've got to raise hell. We've got to raise sand. We've got to point it out to anybody and everybody that'll listen. There are many that won't. But then again, there's a whole hell of a lot of them that will.
Well, let me cite an example here that a lot of people don't think about. I saw a post on Facebook yesterday, and I shared it. And admittedly, it was a couple years old, but it's about a law in Louisiana where if you put a mask on your face, you can be arrested.
Oh, yeah.
Now, how many bikers put a bandana over their face, especially when you got, an open face helmet, you're buzzing down the road, bugs hit you, you're trying to keep dirt out of your nose, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got either a bandana or some kind of a mask on, and they have put bikers in jail.
Yes.
Now, technically, does that say, if I'm wearing a full face helmet with the visor down and the sunshade down, that I'm masking my face? The issue here is everyone is allowing some stupid law to be on the books, and God only knows what other states might have that same law that will allow law enforcement to make a stop and profile you using something like that. So first set of action is contact your local COC, ABATE chapter, or whatever, and start making a move to get rid of laws like that. Get them the hell off the books. You got to pass legislation to do that, but get proactive. Look for stuff like that that's in existence that can get you in trouble. Just like in Texas, you can get arrested for failing to signal a lane change.
Yeah.
Or any other minor traffic violation. Mm-hmm. Now, how many housewives in a minivan do you see going to jail for doing something like that, as opposed to how many bikers do you see they're hauling off to jail for doing stuff like that?
Yeah.
That's precisely what we're talking about here. Be proactive. Look for stuff that can be used against you when they don't like you.
Yeah.
And that's a big profiling issue right now, where they're able to use stuff and say, well, we weren't profiling. We made a valid traffic stop.
Oh, yeah.
We took them to, the law says you go to jail if you have a minor traffic violation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they can't arrest you for speeding or for having an open bottle in the car. Now, I got to wonder what the hell the sanity, let alone the intelligence level was of the individual that submitted that little beautiful piece of legislation, let alone who the hell sponsored it and who the hell the frickin' idiots were that voted for it and then the governor signed it into law.
Mm-hmm.
We are dealing with a real full deck of real idiots out there, and we need to do something about it, get proactive, root these stupid things out, and go to legislators that you know are intelligent and say, look at what the hell your idiot brothers passed out there.
Yeah.
We need to do something about this.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, it's kind of interesting, and it goes back to the coronavirus. Did you see the guys doing the foot shake?
No.
I'm going to add it to the end of this video. It's funny as heck. But, at the same time, maybe that'll be a new fad, a new thing, kind of like the elbow bump. But there is already a foot dance out there. Who knows, if you get proficient enough, you can do the foot dance when you're riding down the road side by side. Would be interesting. Just saying. And just being silly. Well, it's going to be a short show tonight because my voice is giving out. And I apologize to everybody. Those of you that know, I just finished with, or just had cancer surgery not long ago. And so my voice is weak. And so, but I'm trying. But stay tuned, everybody. Stay tuned. I'm going to heal, and we're going to get out there, and we're going to do some what? Some people will
We're going to raise some hell.
They're going to think it's crazy shit, what they're going to think. Because we are not afraid. We're not afraid to go ask them. Why? What the hell are you doing? And why is this aimed at us when it's not aimed at anybody else? And we'll be pointing out that the citizenry of this country, and like Mel said last week, everybody's got bad apples. Everybody. That includes law enforcement. That includes the average smucks out there on the highway or in their homes or wherever. Why should we be treated any differently than everybody else? Why should we get the extra scrutiny when things are not what has been described? And that's the truth of it. When things happen, we'd like to at least have the story be told honestly, rather than with a bunch of hype and innuendo. And let me promise you, there's not any bikers coming to attack you. There's not any bikers coming to attack a jury. There's not any bikers coming to attack a courthouse. Name me one instant where that's happened. Where a motorcycle club was responsible for any of that, and not an individual who had an issue with somebody. And Mel, that's about all I got. I'm giving out. You got anything you want to add?
That's okay. There's always next week.
That's right. We promise you we'll make it up to you. We will make it up to you. And meanwhile, we'll close with the The footshake. Interesting concept. Invented in China, I think. We'll see. Have a good evening, everybody. This is Texas Biker.
And be safe out there.
Ride safe. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
哎呀，来上讲怎么？哎，你好，你好，你好，来，走，哎呀，
你好，
哎，哟，海林老师，好，
海林也来了。